Hi, this is Jason Brock, Director of Church Health, Mission, and Disaster. I'm going to provide a very quick, basic overview of getting the QuickInsite report, demographic report. Lots more that you can do with this program, advanced things that will in the district or the conference or in one-on-one conversations, but this will get you through basic navigation of getting that first report to overall general view of your community. So we'll start right in. You should have already received a login username and password by logging in. I have set up my login here as if I were Manchester First, and it's already remembered that and signed in for me. But you would just enter your username and password, and it would bring you here to the beginning of Mission Insight. This demographic report resource has been provided to local churches at no cost through the congregational development team who, through our apportionments, has been able to purchase a license to use this for all our churches. If you are familiar with Google Maps, then this will look very familiar. While many features are similar, there are a few things that are different, but this should help it to be a little bit more familiar. So we're going to jump right in. And we're going to close this little welcome screen. And since I've signed in as Manchester First, then my map already starts out right here at Manchester in the center of the map. In there, you can do one of two things. You can either use the little bar you may be familiar with, the slider bar here, and just kind of zoom in and out like that. Or if you right click, it'll bring up this thing you can use as a rectangle zoom. And you can hit rectangle zoom, which will give you little crosshairs. And if you hold your left button down and drag your little box, then it'll zoom in to that particular area so that you can get the churches that look from farther away, kind of piled on top of each other, separated out. So here we've got Manchester First kind of on its own here. So we want to take a look at the community of Manchester around the church, to look at the mission field, and to look at what are the implications of who are the people that live here and how can we best in Jesus' name reach out to them and be in ministry with them. And so easiest way to do that is to draw a circle. I'm going to take a look at up here in our tools and click shapes, click draw radius. And we can choose, I think, somewhere up to maybe 25 miles, but for most churches, looking at 1 mile, 3 mile, 5 mile is maybe a good place to get started. And so for this purpose, let's take a look at a 3 mile radius. Center point on the map. And again, you have little crosshairs. Take your crosshairs, put them right over the church, and left click. Depending on your internet speed, it'll draw you a circle. And basically it gets us set up so that we can ask the program the question, who are the people that live inside that circle, who live in that mission field? We're going to take a look at the QuickInsite Report, which is one that they've generated that has some of the most common sorts of information that you would want to take a look at. Up here to predefined reports and hit left click. Choose QuickInsite. Executive Insight's a little bit longer. Full Insight is the longest report, and QuickInsite gives us a good initial picture. So you left click on that, it's going to figure out what's in that circle. And depending on your internet speed, this could take several minutes. When it's completed, then you will have this completed report come up in a PDF format. Computer in your browser, you may have options up at the top on to print or save it, or like mine, when you come down here, it's going to give you an option to save or an option to print. You can also right click and often will give the option to save it or print it that way. And so when you get this report, it's going to give you some of the basic information. One, show you the picture of what area is being looked at, generalized sorts of statements and how what is represented in this circle is compared to the state numbers, and it'll go through a number of different things about the people that live here. Is the population growing? Is it getting smaller, staying the same? People getting older, younger, et cetera, et cetera. Lots of different information about people, families, income, race, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of that you can kind of get a sense and look through as to what is in the community. However, one of the key things that you want to do as a follow-up from taking a look at this report is looking at this thing called mosaic segments. It's what the marketing world has done, is to take a lot of different variables about individual people, their education, their income, all sorts of different information, and to give some generalizations about the sort of things that they like, that they don't like, and be able to kind of better understand them. He does that to sell them stuff or to get their votes. However, here in the church, we've done that. How can we reach them in Jesus' name? How do we best touch those persons who live in our community? And so what this report has done is to create a way to take a look at that. Mission Insight has worked with Tom Bandy in the church world to say, how does this relate to the church? And so we're going to take a look at one of these mosaic segments to see what are the implications for mission in knowing that, for instance, in Manchester, one of the largest segments of people are the Q64 Golden Year Guardians, town elders. And so we want to take a look at the information that Tom Bandy has provided for us for that mosaic segment. There's two ways that you can do this. And if you go back to Mission Insight here, one, you can just download the whole guide. Go to help. Mission Impact Mosaic Application Guide by Tom Bandy. And if you click that, it'll start to download this guide. I've downloaded it before, so it was really quick. This is like a 500-page resource, so you're not going to want to print it out. You would probably want to save it to your computer so that you could resource it as you wish to look at the dozens of segments that are in your community. Another quicker way to do that is to just go to their website, where you can take a look at that guide here under Resources, and you just go straight to Mission Impact Guide. To download and take a look at that one particular segment. It's town elders, and we're going to left click on that and bring up this report. And so what Tom Bandy has done is to just provide some general information about this particular segment, and then looks at the implications for ministry regarding leadership, hospitality, worship, education, small groups, outreach, property and technology, stewardship, and so on, to give some ideas of how we better communicate and work with and order the church life such that if this is a segment that we're trying to reach or that we're not reaching, that we better know how to work in that way. And so that's a very helpful thing to have. So here it is in 10 minutes or less here. You have been able to produce this very general report and to get some, dig into some more specific information about how that relates to ministry in the local church. And certainly encourage you to investigate some of the webinars that are available through this website, or future district or conference trainings that can help us to dig into some of the more advanced features of digging in and looking even sometimes block by block the people who live in and around the community in which your church serves. So thank you and God bless.